There was always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
That never gets old, that moment 4 years ago. You remember this. Amanda Gorman inspired many Americans with her inauguration poem. It was called The Hill We Climb. Now, we're happy to say she's working to inspire young girls with her new children's book. It's called Girls on the Rise. It's knockout. It celebrates the strength of women, how they've shaped history, and offers a rallying cry for the future. We're happy to say that Amanda Gorman joins us first on CBS Mornings. We're so glad you're back with us, Amanda. I mean, before, guys, I even said hello. I said, could you please sign this for my granddaughter, Grayson? She's only 8 months. She can't read, but one day she will. So, bravo. Congratulations to you again. What was the inspiration for this book?
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me. I love my CBS family. I've known you guys so long.
The same.
It's great to be back here. And to answer your question, a few years ago, when I was watching Dr. Blasey Ford testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee, I wrote a poem that night because I knew that feeling of being a woman in a room screaming to be believed. And several years later, I decided that might be a message that young girls would need to read. And so that became Girls on the Rise.
Yeah, you have a lot of emphasis on strength in this book for
Yes.
girls. Why is that important to you to send the message of strength for girls?
I think I try to focus in the book on strength and unity, as in there's the strength that I think comes from all of us, but I think particularly when you grow up as a young girl, the strength that you can find in allyship, in companionship, in community, it will make that strength endurable, sustainable, and meaningful at once.
And what gave you strength when you were a little girl?
Ooh, the woman around me, to be honest. I was raised by an independent Black mother who modeled that for me, my community members, my teachers, and so it wasn't something that was innate. It was something that I was taught and something that was spoken to me.
Well, we would love for you to read a couple of pages, if you will.
Of course. So these are
Pick out something you like.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll say what we like. Go
these
ahead.
illustrations are great. I'm trying to show them.
The illustrator, her name is Love is Wise, and I thought,
Yes.
is that your wordplay or is that a real person?
That is the
Love
real
is
name.
Wise is her
Yes.
name. Beautiful illustrations. Okay.
So I'll read the first few pages, which has great visuals. It goes, who are we? We are girls on the rise. Today, everyone's eyes are on us as we make waves, pave the way, and save the day. Today, we finally have a say. We are girls like never before, speaking out more and more, because when our quiet is broken, the world must hear us roar.
Wow. Yeah, there's a page where you say, I love your alliteration. We are gutsy, we are gorgeous, we are gleaming. I love that word gleaming. Giving and gifted, glorious, glitter, and grit. How do you write like this, Amanda? Take us through your process. This is so powerful to me.
Thank you. That means so much for me because you're such an excellent writer as well.
Not like you.
You're so
Or
sweet.
Tony, yes.
Honestly, it takes lots of practice, lots of hard work. I think people think writing children's books is easy.
Yeah.
It's much more difficult for me than writing an inaugural poem because you're writing it for the village raising this child, for the grandmother reading this to the kid on their lap, to the teacher who's having story time. And so I work hour and hour trying to figure out what type of line will speak to multiple generations and multiple voices.
And you also say that you write with the understanding that children are much more smarter than we give them credit for.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. There's this idea that when you're writing,
You have to dumb it
you
down.
have to dumb it down. If anything, my intellect is working double time when I'm writing for children because children are incredibly direct, straightforward, and emotionally intelligent. If I walk into a third grade classroom, they can smell deceit and deception from a mile away, in that a way that adults can't because we're so used to these types of layers, while children are so tender and raw and honest. And so when I write for a child, I'm writing to an incredibly smart mind that has a certain range of vocabulary, but is actually more advanced creatively, emotionally, than I might actually be now.
And willing to learn, too.
And willing to learn and open and curious, and they have questions. I mean, I think we all know the sensation of a 5-year-old coming up to us with a question that we quite don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have to sit and think about that. And I wrote this book with the idea for the girl, for the boy, for the non-binary child who has a question about their place in the world and feminism. How can I speak to them with care and with willingness to have that inquiry answered?
But you marvel that they came up with the question at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, in the morning.
And you go, let me think
Over
about
the
this
morning milk.
at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You told our Anthony Mason, this was back in 2021, that you hope to become president one day. Is that still a goal?
Absolutely.
Still is.
Yeah, 2036, which is when I'll be actually old enough to run. So that will be when I run.
You have my vote.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
30 in the mail, huh?
Yeah.
Is there another office you might think about first? Mayor of LA?
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting,
that's
Tony. Yeah,
interesting.
before you run for president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would love to start local. So yeah, I'd love to either do something on a school board, something locally in Congress would be great. So keep an eye out. I was definitely like flagging Maxine Waters because I grew up in her district. And I was kind
Wow.
of just like, show me your wave. So if you ever, want to take a vacation because she works so hard, I'll be here to talk.
Yeah. From the first time we met you at 11:13, you were still that girl, still so impressive and still soaring and cheering you on. Amanda, Gorman. Yes, we will not forget. Amanda Gorman, thank you.
Thank you so much.
President Gorman.
Yeah, President Gorman to you. That's right. Girls on the Rise is on sale now wherever you like to buy your books. We'll be right back.